Hello my friends, and how are you doing? Today I want to show you a little bit of Gemini vibe coding in Google AI Studio. I know that's not my usual topic, but this time you need to check it out because it's really amazing and powerful. Also at the end of the video, I'm going to give you a little tour of this park. Let's get started. So today we're going to check out how to vibe code because that is so powerful, and I want to show it to you inside of Google AI Studio because I found that this is way more powerful than the canvas inside of Gemini. And one more thing before we get completely started is Tune that I want to show you. This is a shorter version of code like JSON, and you can see here on the left side JSON, which is pretty complex to type and long. You can see it takes 50 tokens, and here is a very simplified version of the same content, only taking 20 tokens in here. Now this is a website, it's called Tune Parser, so you can put your JSON up here and it's going to be converted into Tune output to save some time if you already have that, for example, for an LLM as an output, but you don't actually need that website. You can just write it, and this resembles more like humans would write something. Also some information in here, when to use it, when not to use it, and also some performance information here that is pretty cool. You can check out that website if you want to. Just found it on Twitter. It might be interesting also maybe for vibe coding, but let's check out Gemini AI Studio. So when you enter the AI Studio, you want to click here on vibe code Gen AI apps. This is then using, as you can see here, the Gemini 3 Pro preview. So you get the preview of the best model they have right now, and below that actually you can see you can supercharge your apps with all the cool things that Google has to offer. This makes the power of the Google integration. So you have Nano Banana, you can use voice apps or AI voices, you have VO3 in here, you can use the Google search data or search results, you can use Google Maps for that, and so on. Of course, some of them are paid applications or paid API use because, for example, VO3 is not going to be for free, but you can integrate that, and of course you can also deploy that if you want to create a service or a website or an app or anything you can think of. You can basically vibe code with this. Now, first things first, I would suggest to you to click here on gallery on the top left, because that gives you some very interesting ideas of what you can do here. There's a lot of pretty cool stuff here. For example, this here is a website over there, so let's click on that real quick. It looks like this, and then you can scroll down. You can see it is a full web design in here. So you can also do that. You can start a business. I actually meet in a couple of days with a friend of mine. He is already starting 2 businesses. He has vibe coded. That is pretty cool because he's from the film business and he's thinking about different services to offer and hosting, streaming, stuff like that. Really, really cool. You can do that, right? Let's go back here to the different examples. You can see a lot of things. You can do mock-up visualization. You can do video games here. This is pretty cool. Voxel also working. I have preloaded this over here, so you can see we have here this little voxel figure, and then you can break it, so it's breaking apart. Beautiful. This animation, all of that is done with vibe coding. Even the voxels, the animations, the colors, everything. You can rebuild this, for example, now into a rabbit. You can see pretty cute rabbit here. I can move the camera with my mouse and then break it again. And you can also, for example, new build, you can prompt something to create something new out of these voxels. So there's a lot of cool stuff you can generate, but of course I also did some of my own projects, my own ideas. So the first thing I'm going to show you here is this one, which is a music visualizer. You can use any kind of MP3 audio and then have the animation pulse to that. Now the interesting part here is you can also use images as an inspiration. You can either use, like I did here, an AI generated image to show the AI what the visualization should look like, or you can even sketch it out and then have the AI create, for example, a website or app for you based on the sketched out design. After that, The AI is generating, as you can see here, all the different requirements and files for you, but also the design of that. Like, for example, here the name and the logo design and everything. You can even go, by the way, here to full screen so you can see this larger. And you can see here, I have already loaded my MP3 in here. Let's start it. You're not going to hear that, so it's not interfering with my voice, but you can see the animation is going on. I can click here so you can see more of that, but all of these settings here, they have been added by me step by step through vibe coding. For example, I have here the line reaction to really get this to full power, but then also, for example, the path lengths that I want to have. Let's make this a little bit like that. Then I have here the pulse size. Let's jump a little bit back so we have a stronger pulsing here. The particle size we can have the glow of these particles. The line hue can also change, and of course we also have here a hue shift based on the beat. So every time there's a beat in the music, it's changing the colors of the animation here, or I can even rotate my little devils here. By the way, this is another function I've added. You can upload a PNG with a transparent background. I created this little devil here with AI, uploaded it, and then now I have this as a particle instead of just a white block. Another thing I have created with vibe coding is basically inspired by Adventure Capitalist, which is kind of this idle game where you have to buy stores and upgrade them, and then you have managers in here and stuff that you can activate. You can see here I can hire 2 more managers for my game. Now, the interesting thing here, one thing I would suggest to you to get more out of that result is to ask the AI first on how it would design the app. You see here, for example, the different upgrades and what they do in the game. And this detailed prompt with all of these different functions in there give you a way better result and a basically quicker way to get to a nice result, and then afterwards you can still improve them through your prompting. But as you can see here, I haven't actually done much. The only thing here, there was something to fix, but often Gemini even sees that on its own and fixes it automatically, and that's it. I didn't even have to ask for anything else. This was the whole thing. And I want to point out here, by the way, the sounds, the graphics, the animations, the timers, the logo up here again, everything, all of that is generated by the AI through vibe coding. So you don't have to generate all these icons separately. This is done by the AI for you. Fish Market has a fish. The Donut Factory has, well, it has a cookie here, but you know what I mean. It's pretty good. And here, by the way, is another thing I want to show you. You see here, I have a modular synthesizer, and I can actually see, I can click here and connect this to different ins and outs, and I can add more modules over time. I can add functions to the modules over time if I want to. And of course, it needs some cleaning up with the text, and the sequencer here is sticking out a little bit. But by talking to the AI, you can add all of these functions. You see, there's a ton of variety you have here. And one thing you can also do here as a function is, for example, say, give me an option to save this as a JSON file. So when I want to send this to a friend, he can also use that and just like load my modular web synthesizer up there. And of course, you can also host that on the internet. So this is really, really powerful. Now, one thing I absolutely also love about this vibe coding is that based on the project and what you're doing right now, Gemini down here is giving you suggestions. For example, here it says add sample and hold, add a noise module, add a mixer module or an FX module, stuff like that. Pretty cool. Or when we go here back to the game, it says add achievements, implement upgrades, add settings, and so on. So it gives you smart suggestions. You click on that and then click on the run, and this is going to add that to the game. Or of course, you can come up with your own ideas. So all of that is very, very nice. Of course, what I also said is that you can deploy this on the internet. There's actually 2 different ways, or actually 3 different ways you can do that. Now, up here on the top, you see all these icons. You can see one of them is saved to GitHub so that you can share that with the community, open source, because of course, All of the code is here that people can look into the code of what is happening and can work on that, can improve that if they want to. So you can upload that to GitHub. You can also deploy this as an app. Now with an app, you need a paid API because that means that other people can use it and it runs on the Google service and is actually a web app that you can share with other people. So that is pretty cool. And you can also share the app. Now with the share app, you don't have to have a paid API because what you do is only share this project. People can also at that point see the code. This is the difference between deploy, which just makes it an actual app, and sharing means you share this complete project, including the code, and people could then copy it or work on that, but of course not change your product. They just check it out and check the code and stuff like that. And there's also here a copy app button, so you can copy it into your own projects if you, for example, open up another person's link, stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. You can also see here you have a download app function, so you can save it on your local drive and then maybe send it to someone else just as the files. So that is very, very nice. And another thing, by the way, that's pretty cool here is you have here select device preview. So you can select this as the current screen, as a mobile or a tablet, which means when you develop apps, you can see how it would look on a phone or a tablet. So you can preview that. And that means you can also make mobile apps with that. How cool is this? So this is extremely powerful. And as if we've seen before, with these previews here, with the integrations you have, for example, here with the mock-up generator or with this comic book generator, you can include the different other tools from Google like Nano Banana or Veo 3. So you can build a service where people can use AI and create AI images, AI videos, things like that with a service that you offer, that you've built here with this vibe coding. So that's extremely amazing and powerful. I really hope you check that out. Now let's head over to my Bangkok video. So the reason why I want to show you this park is because it's a perfect example of the modern Thai philosophy and mindset. So this park combines modern architecture, appreciation for technology, and modern philosophies, while at the same time showing respect for nature and tradition. So for example, behind me, you can see this kind of like sitting area here that looks like a classic temple layout. So you have a social space where you can meet with other people, and people actually come here to do Tai Chi, to do meditation, things like that. On the other side, you can see here we have very nicely laid out nature and these winding paths that of course are important to first of all relax you, but also have this feel of organic growth. So this combination of tradition and technology and nature together. But let's check out some other places here. So here's another element I want to show you, and that is this kind of classic looking architecture. It looks like leftover from an old temple with these natural bricks laid on top of each other. And you might find that this temple sometimes is a little bit in disarray like here, but the reason for that is because it has been closed for years because of legal battles and just recently opened, so they still have to fix it up. But right next to this classic looking architecture here, you have some, look at that, 3D printed furniture in the park. How amazing is that? Never seen anything like that in Vienna. Maybe it exists, I don't know. But Bangkok is really open to new technology. And another element you have right here is you have a cleaning cart, because every single day they invest a lot of time to keep this park pristine and put away all of the trash and everything. So really very nice place to relax here. Now we enter another part of the park. Now this looks like a gate, but actually it's just an element that is a fence. And this silhouette you see here, I think it might be the silhouette of the king. I'm not 100% certain of that. And when we go through that gate, you see here on the left side, you have this kind of modern architecture combined with all this vegetation. You go into a little kind of like a maze, which is very beautiful, and you have these reflective elements. So all of that is very modern and beautiful, and it also gives you something to explore, but also some privacy, and also, and I like that, some kind of education for the public to experience art and be in the middle of this kind of like abstract design, so you can actually shape your mind. I really love these kind of elements to combine that. And then we come in the second area here. Now it's pretty cool. Look at that. When you see these walls here, They look like they are classic layers of earth throughout the history, but actually these are different layers of concrete made to look like that. I will show you a wall that actually shows this much better. So let's exit this part and we come to the next part, which I really love. And this is these kind of concrete columns here. They look both at the same time very abstract, but also they look like the leftovers of an old temple or an old cult place, you know, like ancient architecture. And that's what I really love, is this combination of modern technology that looks like classic architecture and gives you this feeling of a very important, amazing place. Now, when you look forward, what you have there is, when you exit this little hallway here, basically, is a tree. And the trees are very important in Buddhist philosophy. So you can see the tree is honored. It has a temple below it. It has all these figures down there. Let's go closer to that. So you can see that right under the tree we have this assortment here of figures. There's Shiva, there's Ganesha, there's famous Buddhist monks, there is these elephants here which are donations for, I think, health and good luck, but I'm not 100% sure. And then when we go around the tree, you will see there is colorful bands around that, which is honoring the tree and make it a special spiritual place. So all of that is pretty amazing. Let's continue the tour with this building right next to the tree. Now this is supposed to be a place of events and culture. So this is here supposed to be a little cafe. It's not filled in yet, but you can see the beautiful modern architecture. We can enjoy being in that park, and we go through that and come out on the other side. You have even more of these meadows and sitting areas, but also over here you have these walls I've been talking about. And I have to say, I really love this design of these layers. Look at that. It looks very natural and historic, like earth layers, but it's concrete. It's made to be this like respect for nature, but combining it with modern technology at the same time. So that is really another beautiful architectural element here. One thing I love about the parks in Asia or in Bangkok is that they have these kind of random elements, like the path I'm walking on right now. It's probably not a path, but for some reason this is laid into the grass. I'm pretty sure it has some cultural significance or even religious meaning. I don't know, but to me it's kind of random, it's kind of interesting. And I love, as you know, random architecture where I don't understand the meaning, because it opens up the possibilities, the opportunities to think about what it could mean and not just be purpose bound to exactly know what it is. I really love things like that. Now we are already at the last part of the park, and what you can see here, believe it or not, is a natural water filtration system. So all of these basins you see here, they go one into another, and as you can see, maybe if you're lucky, there are some fish in there that swim around, and of course they're also an important part of the water filtration. Then here you have some plants where the water is going through, and it's going on in other basins, and there are actually also other animals like birds living here and insects and so on. So it's also good for nature, it's good for the city climate. And by the way, here is an information board where you have an overview over all of these different basins and what they do. So they're all described. You can see there's a sedimentation pond, a plant and grass filtration, emergent plant filtration, floating plant filtration, oxidation pond, and so on. So you can see different ponds have different plants in them. Here we have some sea roses going on. And there is the bird, look at him. I don't know if you can see that, but he's like, I guess, capturing some heat from the sun. I'm not quite sure, but it looks very beautiful. So here you can see the last parts of that filtration system. You have a little bridge here over that, and then this is going over into the actual final big pond. How amazing is that? And also how educational to understand, to respect nature, filtrate with natural systems, and use biology to the benefit of the society, right? It's really beautiful. So that is the end of my little park tour. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed that and want to see more of Bangkok. Leave a like if you enjoyed that, and see you soon. Bye!